My name is Wendell Covington. I am the president and CEO of Matthews-Dickey Boys and Girls Club. On behalf of Matthews-Dickey, the Taylor family, and Jim Kavanaugh, I would like to thank you all for joining us this afternoon. We want to extend a special thanks to our co-founder, Martin Matthews, our board of directors, the Scott Gallagher Soccer Club, distinguished guests, and all of our community partners for coming out and showing their support. In 2017, Matthews-Dickey was inspired to start a competitive soccer club in conjunction with Jim Kavanaugh and the Community Benefits Agreement. We have since partnered with Scott Gallagher Soccer Club to provide new opportunities for our young people. Our aim is to expose them to opportunities that could potentially lead them into college and become healthier and productive citizens. So before we get started, I want to remind you that we'll have a brief Q&A following our special announcement. So to kick off this morning's special announcement, I'll hand it over to Carolyn Kendall Betts, Senior Vice President and Executive Director of the Enterprise Holding Foundation.
Thank you, Wendell. We are so excited to be here today to officially announce this group's mission to bring a Major League Soccer club to the fabulous city of St. Louis. Before we get started, we put together this video to highlight some of our efforts.
No city loves soccer like our city. This game belongs here. That's why, starting today, there's a new plan to bring the MLS to the STL. Let's bring soccer home. Learn more at MLSforthelou.com.
To begin, we are a 100% St. Louis-based ownership group made up of multi-generational family members from my family, the Taylor family, as well as Jim Kavanaugh and his family. Our ownership group is also majority female-led, which will be the first in MLS history and all of professional sports globally. We have a long-standing commitment to the revitalization of St. Louis. My family and I are actively involved and personally invested in a number of philanthropic and infrastructure initiatives throughout the city. The combination of our two families, the Taylors and the Kavanaughs, merge a love for St. Louis, a love for soccer, and we view an MLS team as a lasting legacy to the city we love. Now it gives me great pleasure to be joined by my uncle, Andy Taylor.
So it's really fun for me to be here today, particularly with the other owners, if you will. And just to be clear, I am the only male in the Taylor family, but I am going to be an investor too, but they are going to own more than I am going to own. So it is really true that this will be the first female-owned MLS team and one of the few in professional sports, for that matter. Part of the reason I'm so excited to be here is I think you know how much our family loves St. Louis and tries to invest when it can. And this is a next step for us that we think is absolutely perfect. There's about $7 or $8 billion worth of investment going on, either been announced or underway between Arch to Park. This is going to be placed right in the middle of that. This privately financed stadium will be right in the middle of that. And that's going to create so much energy, so much tourism, we hope. There are other cities in the Midwest which we hope will have great rivalries. And so we are really just excited about it. We're excited about the sport. This is the global sport. This is the biggest sport on the planet. And we think that the wind is at our back, that soccer is going to continue to grow in St. Louis, and we just think that's fantastic. Also, we are very committed to having a very good team, maybe an exceptional team, and we also want to be great neighbors to the city. So we're going to be very transparent. We want to bring the community along with us. We want the community to participate with us in all regards. And we are just really, really excited. The ownership is going to keep lines of communication open. And let's just hope. This is the application process. We don't have the team yet. This is the application process. So thank you all for being here today. And I want to introduce Jim Kavanaugh, CEO of Worldwide Technology and my fellow partner.
Thank you, Andy, and the entire Taylor family. So first of all, it's incredibly exciting to be standing up here again. Say that nothing great happens without a lot of hard work. So again, I couldn't be happier to be here and look at so many of fellow soccer fans, civic leaders, and I would like to recognize, if they wouldn't mind standing up, some of our future soccer stars. Would you guys mind standing up down there on the floor? All of our future soccer stars? All right. Yes. This is what it's all about. You guys are the next generation of our soccer stars. So thank you. I also, and you guys can stand up or sit down if you want to. Whatever you guys would like to do. But I do, on a very serious note, want to say I feel I'm in an incredibly fortunate position. As you all know, the Taylor family has been soccer fanatics for a number of years, right? Well, not really, So what I will say is that it's very exciting for me to see the entire Taylor family become soccer fanatics and so passionate about the game and see how this works. And as Andy mentioned, it really is a global game. And it's a global game that touches people everywhere around the world from any background, ethnic background, income, it brings so many people together. So I'm very excited about what this can do for St. Louis and our community. And I just cannot leave the stage without saying, in regards to the Taylor family, Andy didn't first come to me and, just started asking a lot of questions about this because he was so passionate about soccer, which he is now. But he came because the entire Taylor family is so passionate about St. Louis and about giving back. And there's so many things that this family has done in regards to St. Louis that people don't even know about. It's incredible. So I would just say I feel very fortunate to be part of this incredible team that we have. And it's kind of fun to see Andy get bossed around by all the women up here. So I hope that's going to cost me. So anyway, I'm just joking about that. But I do want to say I'm incredibly excited about the opportunity. I feel very fortunate to be part of this partnership. And I'm so excited about what this can mean for St. Louis, and we collectively need to come together to make this happen. So thank you very much. With that being, it's my pleasure to introduce Mike McMillan, who is the president and CEO of the Urban League, to come in and give his perspective on things. Thank you. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Good afternoon. It is truly an honor, a privilege, and a pleasure to be here today. I want to start by thanking our host, and let's give him a big round of applause and thanks for his hard work and dedication to the young people of this community and stepping up and filling the shoes of a living icon, Martin Matthews, who created this club for all of us. The Urban League is truly excited to be a part of this project, and I personally and wholeheartedly support it as well, for a reason that not even my dear friend Lewis Reed knows, which is that for the first 8 years of my education at St. Roch, when I was running around the 28th Ward, I was playing soccer every day. And in my mind, I was a great goalie. There is no need for you to ask any of my classmates if they can remember if I was a great goalie or not. But I am a true soccer enthusiast personally, but professionally, this project is exactly what we need in order to take St. Louis to the next level in terms of our rich soccer history. Soccer is the most well-respected and admired and involved sport in the entire world with over 4 billion fans. And St. Louis now needs to step up to the plate and become a part of that global community. Just the other day, I was in South St. Louis at St. Mary's High School, and there were about 400 African immigrants who were there playing in that field soccer every single week. So soccer not only is a sport that we all love, but it is also a way to bring people together of different races and ethnic groups and all types of socioeconomic backgrounds. So we are truly grateful to the Taylor family for once again stepping up to the plate, providing the generosity and the leadership that is necessary to keep St. Louis as a world-class city. And thankful to Jim Kavanaugh for his persistence in making sure that we add this as a part of our portfolio of everything that we have here in St. Louis. And Mayor, we want to say to you, thank you for your leadership along with all of our government elected officials, because we couldn't do this without you. So on behalf of the Urban League, we want to say thank you. We look forward to working together for many years to come.
Good afternoon. In case you're wondering, this goes with whatever you have on. So now's the time for you to wear your soccer scarf too. So on behalf, I see a couple people taking me up on that. Good, good, good. On behalf of the City of St. Louis, our fans, and our businesses, I want to personally thank the Taylor family and the Kavanaugh family for your leadership. Your effort to bring an MLS team to St. Louis is extraordinary. Your private funding makes this a great business deal for St. Louis. Your commitment to this plan with no contribution of citywide revenues and no TIF is a great proposal for the city, for MLS, for taxpayers, and for our fans. The city will collect almost $1.5 million in additional revenue per year from this venue. We are very committed to working with the Taylor and Kavanaugh families to make this great opportunity a St. Louis reality. St. Louis is a soccer town. I see you've all got your scarves on now. Just a few. Okay, Kathy, you're gonna have to put that scarf on. St. Louis is a soccer town. We play it, we watch it. Now let's score a franchise. Thank you all.
Good afternoon. I don't know about all of you, but I am very excited with this news today, and I'm excited to be here today. I'm Lewis Reed, President of the Board of Aldermen of the City of St. Louis. And as a city, we have our challenges like cities all across America. But one of the things that we have in the city of St. Louis are great families that come out and work to invest in our city to help grow our city. I want to thank the Kavanaugh family and the Taylor family for their leadership. Let's give them a big round of applause. With a female-led leadership group. How about that? We're showing the country how to do it. You know, the mayor covered a lot of the financials of this deal, and it's important to note that overwhelmingly the majority of this will come by private investment. And the other piece will be a site-specific tax. So if you don't go to the game, you don't pay for the game. And that's a very important piece. And it could not be done without the major private investment that we see up here on this stage today. And you know what? Here's the thing that I love about it. For me, it's not just about soccer. I love soccer. But it's not just about soccer. It's not just about what happens on the field. It's what it does to our economy. It's what it does for our schools. It's what it does for education and helping our young people get involved in something other than what they're involved in today, and helping them to grow and be stronger and better adults. And that's the piece that we should not lose here today. And that's a very important piece, and it's a very important takeaway. I am so excited to be here today. I'm so excited to see St. Louis working to do what? Bring football, real football, to the city of St. Louis. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Christine Ingracia, 6th Ward Alderwoman. It's really exciting to be here today. I'll just reiterate what everyone else has mentioned. This is the model of what a public-private partnership should look like in the city of St. Louis to make sure that we are watch guards of our taxpayer dollars. We're going to bring revenue into the city. Make no mistake about it, St. Louis is a soccer town. I'm looking forward to working with the Kavanaughs, the Taylors, the city, and all of you to make sure MLS understands that this is the place they need to be next. Thank you.
So it's been our pleasure to be a part of this afternoon's announcement, and we wish the best of luck to MLS for the Lou Ownership Group as they work to bring a Major League Soccer organization and franchise to St. Louis. So, thank you very much. Okay, so now we'll open it up for a few questions. 5-minute question and answer, please.
Both families are paying. Oh, thank you. It's Rocky Madden, Channel 2. Both families are paying the majority of this, but you mentioned something about people going to the game. Is that the input from us, and will the land be given to them by the state at same location as before? Can somebody talk a little specifics about that, please?
So we don't have all the details worked out at this time, so we're still working through that. But part of it is that the tax money would be, any tax that would be paid out would be based on those that are going to the game and paying for tickets, paying for concessions. In regards to the land, we're looking for the land to be conveyed from the state. We're going through that process. And all we're looking for and asking for is that they would do the same for us as they would for any business that was starting up or building a new business downtown St. Louis.
Good morning, good afternoon. I have a question for Mayor Krewson. Mayor, if you could take the vote, how refreshing is it to say the phrase no tiff when you're in a room full of developers?
That's great. Thank you for that softball question. Thank you.
No, I would like, Mayor, if you could, Mayor Krewson.
I'm not finished?
Yeah, I want to, give me a paragraph if you could. I mean, in the history of recent development, there's been a lot of criticism that every developer doesn't put their own skin in the game, their own money. They're always going for taxpayer help. How do you feel about this contrast today?
This is fabulous, and of course, we know that the Taylor and Kavanaugh families have a long history of making many, many major contributions to our projects and to the things that happen here in the city of St. Louis. So it's terrific to be able to say this is a privately funded endeavor. And it is correct that if you go to the game, you might pay an additional 3 cents on your dollar hot dog. But I think only those folks buying a hot dog at the game or a T-shirt will be paying that. It's terrific. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Melody Walker with St. Louis Public Radio. I'm not sure who could answer this question, but I'd just like a little bit of a timeline. Are you in the application process now? And then what comes after that? We've been through some of this before, but wondering if you have any timeline for when.
If I heard you correct, what's the timeline on this? Okay, so first of all, the timeline for the Taylors were a couple months ago we were gathering as a family and trying to figure out, because we love the city, just what other things we could maybe engage in or do that would be helpful for the city, because a strong city is really important to the entire region. So the MLS we've been following for some time, and frankly the league has become very successful, and other Midwest cities have teams. We need a team, and so we as a family made a commitment a couple months ago, and we are in the process of a couple of things going on. First of all, we're working with the state so they can convey the property to the city, which would lease it to us. We are working with the city on all the other details that have been elucidated here, and we have been up to New York to see the MLS commissioner and his team. They are being constructively vague on what the timeline is from their perspective. There are some deliverables we have to continue to work on, such as the conveyance of the property or some positive indication it will be. So I think and hope we're talking months here, we're not talking years here. Okay?
Can you introduce yourself too?
Okay, we'll have one more question.
Emily Pritchard from KMOV. With this being the first majority female-led ownership team, was that something you sought out to do? Did it organically happen? And what do you think that says to future female soccer players and future female business leaders?
Well, I don't think it was any sort of plan other than maybe a higher power, because Andy was actually the youngest and last male born in almost 2 generations. So just by getting the entire family to commit, it naturally became female-owned. I would say, though, that I think it was a very interesting point when we realized it, because it was more doing something together as a family, and then looking around the table and realizing that it was more female than male, I think was certainly a selling point, but not by any means the driving point.
So we'll have a few photos with the ownership group now.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Hey, Adam.